There is a county in Florida where you can legally live on your own land in a tiny home, a yurt, or even an RV, with no minimum square footage requirement. The local building department doesn't fight you on it. They actually help you figure out how to do it the right way. This isn't some fringe political fantasy. It's just rural Florida, where regulations never fully caught up with people's ambitions, and land is still affordable enough that an off-grid lifestyle isn't just a daydream. Florida isn't only theme parks and retirement communities. Huge portions of the state are rural, quiet, and largely untouched. If you know where to look, it's still possible to disappear into self-sufficiency. But there's fine print. Florida comes with hurricanes, extreme humidity that slowly eats everything you own, mosquitoes so thick you'll breathe them in, and wildlife that treats your land like shared space. Add to that a patchwork of county-by-county rules so inconsistent that you can be legal on one side of the road and cited on the other. So the real question is this: can you actually live off-grid in Florida, or will the climate and bureaucracy crush the dream? We found 12 places where off-grid living is genuinely possible. We're breaking down what land costs, what's legal, what's survivable, and what nobody mentions until after the paperwork is signed. We're starting in South Florida, where land is cheap for reasons that become obvious very quickly. 12, Clewiston and rural Hendry County. In Hendry County, you can buy 10 acres for less than a single parking space in Miami. The county borders Lake Okeechobee and averages about 24 people per square mile. Most land is agriculturally zoned, with prices ranging from roughly $5,000 to $12,000 per acre. A 5-acre parcel typically runs between $25,000 and $50,000. Solar potential here is excellent, with around 5.5 to 6 sun hours per day, some of the best in Florida. Tropical fruit grows year-round: citrus, mangoes, avocados, bananas. Lake Okeechobee offers world-class bass fishing, and wild boar are so common they're essentially an edible nuisance. Here's what most people don't tell you: August is brutal. Summer highs hover in the low 90s. Humidity often sits between 70 and 90%, and living without grid power in that heat can be genuinely dangerous. The same lake that provides fishing also amplifies humidity. Mosquitoes are severe, and seasonal sugarcane burning can affect air quality. If you need to stay in South Florida and can tolerate extreme heat, this is one of the few places where off-grid living makes financial sense. If heat tolerance isn't your strength, keep moving. 11. Rural Glades County and the Moorhaven area. If Hendry County felt remote, Glades County takes isolation even further. It's Florida's second least populated county, with about 16 people per square mile. Moorhaven, the county seat, has fewer residents than many Miami apartment buildings. Land prices range from about $4,000 to $10,000 per acre, with 5-acre parcels commonly selling for $20,000 to $45,000. The county government is small, permitting can be slow, but enforcement is minimal. Ranch land stretches for miles, creeks remain undammed, and the culture is firmly mind your own business. Florida panthers live here, not by accident, but because even panthers need quiet. The trade-off is extreme isolation. There's no nearby hospital, cell service is unreliable, and emergency response times can exceed 30 minutes. Supplies require long drives to larger towns like Fort Myers or Sebring. This is maximum privacy in South Central Florida, and it demands maximum self-reliance in return. 10. Palatka and rural Putnam County. Heading north, Putnam County has quietly allowed unconventional living for decades. Communities like Interlaken have long attracted people who wanted to live differently, long before that became trendy. Land typically runs $5,000 to $15,000 per acre, with parcels priced between $25,000 and $60,000. Jacksonville, Gainesville, and Daytona are all within driving distance. Lakes provide recreation and supplemental food, and Ocala National Forest offers nearby hunting access. The county's flexibility partly comes from limited enforcement capacity. Putnam struggles economically, with higher poverty rates and fewer services. Some areas have crime issues, and meth has been a problem in parts of the county. The unspoken agreement is simple: if you don't cause trouble, The county won't bother you. That freedom comes at the cost of services. 9. Perry and rural Taylor County. This is Florida's Big Bend region, where the land still looks much like it did decades ago. Taylor County averages around 21 people per square mile and has a working-class timber culture that largely leaves landowners alone. Inland land sells for roughly $3,000 to $8,000 per acre, with 5 acres often costing $15,000 to $35,000. Gulf Coast access includes world-class scalloping, and many locals can feed themselves year-round through fishing, hunting, and foraging. The downside is a limited job market dominated by timber and state prisons. Coastal hurricane risk is real, and mosquitoes near the coast can be overwhelming. For people with remote income who want Gulf access without coastal prices, Taylor County is one of the best bargains left. 8. Madison and rural Madison County. True North Florida feels more like South Georgia than the tropics. Madison County sits between Tallahassee and Jacksonville, with land prices among the lowest in the state, roughly $2,500 to $6,000 per acre. The aquifer is shallow and clean, rainfall is plentiful, and hunting is excellent. Property taxes are moderate, and the Suwannee River forms the western border. But winters are real here. Frost happens. Tropical crops struggle. Services and internet access are limited. If you want seasons, traditional crops, and a slower pace of life, Madison County delivers. If you're chasing palm trees, it won't. 7. Bonifay and Holmes County. In the western panhandle, Holmes County offers some of Florida's cheapest land, often between $2,500 and $5,500 per acre. Property taxes are among the lowest in the state. What makes this area special is water. Holmes Creek and nearby springs are spring-fed, exceptionally clean, and the aquifer is shallow with outstanding quality. Rolling hills provide natural drainage, and humidity is lower than in peninsular Florida. The downside is real winter, limited economic opportunity, and hurricane risk, even inland. For people who value clean water above everything else, Holmes County stands out. 6. Bristol and Liberty County. Liberty County lives up to its name. With just 12 people per square mile and 65% of the county made up of Apalachicola National Forest, it offers unmatched access to public land. Land prices range from about $2,000 to $5,000 per acre. Wildlife is abundant, so abundant that locals joke there are more bears than people. Isolation is extreme. Medical care requires long drives, cell service is poor, wildfire risk exists, and hurricane damage from past storms is still visible. For serious off-grid homesteaders who want access to massive public land, Liberty County is unmatched, but solitude is mandatory. 5. Cross City and Dixie County. On Florida's Nature Coast, Dixie County offers legitimate seafood self-sufficiency. Land runs $2,500 to $7,000 per acre, and 5-acre parcels start around $12,000. The Suwannee River defines the region, flowing into one of the least developed coastlines in the state. Fishing and scalloping are central to life here. The trade-off is insects. Mosquitoes and no-see-ums can be unbearable, especially near the coast. That alone has kept much of the area undeveloped. If you can endure the bugs, Dixie County offers some of the cheapest Gulf access in Florida. 4. Trenton and Gilchrist County. Gilchrist County sits on top of some of Florida's best spring systems. The aquifer is shallow, water quality is exceptional, and multiple first-magnitude springs are nearby. Land is more expensive, typically $8,000 to $18,000 per acre, but Gainesville is close, providing hospitals, shopping, and services. Spring protection rules mean stricter septic requirements, and prices have risen as word spreads. This is one of the best places to balance water quality with access to civilization, but affordability is fading fast. 3. Live Oak and Suwannee County. The Suwannee River defines this county both culturally and geographically. Land prices range from about $4,000 to $12,000 per acre, with established alternative communities and homesteading networks. Highway access is excellent. Festivals bring in diverse residents, and neighbors generally understand unconventional lifestyles. Flooding is the major risk. FEMA flood maps matter here more than anywhere else. For people who want community, culture, and river access, Suwannee County delivers. if you respect the water. 2. Mayo and Lafayette County. Lafayette County is Florida's least populated county, averaging just 15 people per square mile. The county seat has about 1,200 residents. Land runs $3,000 to $8,000 per acre. Enforcement is minimal, and solitude is absolute. There is no hospital in the county. Cell service is poor. Services are few. If isolation is your priority, this is statistically the quietest place in Florida. 1. Williston, Bronson, and rural Levy County. Levy County stands alone. It explicitly allows off-grid living with no minimum square footage requirements on parcels of 5 acres or more. Tiny homes, yurts, RVs, and alternative structures are legally permitted, and county staff actively help residents comply instead of shutting them down. Land ranges from roughly $5,000 to $15,000 per acre. Gainesville is nearby, multiple major springs are close, and Gulf access through Cedar Key provides fishing and oystering. There is a large established off-grid community here, so established that long-timers now complain about newcomers. Prices are rising, competition is increasing, and Florida's climate challenges still apply. But no other county combines clear legal guidance, community support, and access to services the way Levy County does. That's why it's number 1. Florida off-grid living is possible. People are doing it right now, but it demands serious trade-offs: heat, humidity, storms, insects, and self-reliance. The freedom is real. So are the mosquitoes.